They're taking over. We've got a two-tier police system that supports them. We're given second-rate housing. We're treated as second-class citizens.
Is the UK still safe?
No, and it's getting increasingly less and less so as time goes on, in my opinion.
I think we've had a real culture change in the last 20 years, where as we become a more liberal society, men feel more disenfranchised, they don't have a voice, so they turn to more degenerate acts through like such things like crime.
There's a lot of like bad people, and like the police, they don't really care about anything. So it's kind of dangerous to walk around, especially because of people joining gangs at a young age now.
Is the UK still safe?
Not anymore. Those people are here in the country and they are just on the benefits, and they are taking the benefits of the country, the taxpayers' money, and nowadays the young children are into knife crimes.
I do feel that street crime and I want to say sexual assault and all that, I think that's getting worse because a lot of people are feeling a little bit entitled to themselves, especially in this day and age. But I mean, the UK's safety levels can be judged on so many aspects of life.
The UK hasn't been safe for a long time. It's been a gradual change, especially over the last 10 years.
The levels of crime are crazy. Most areas have been gentrified, so you have low-income areas, high-income areas, all in one. Basically, you just have a consistent level of crime across all areas.
It depends where you go and who you are. I feel pretty safe walking around London, but I think if I was younger, if I was an 18-year-old, I definitely wouldn't. So it depends, if you're older, if you know how to carry yourself, it depends where you're going.
And what do you think led to that?
Well, one thing that's certainly happened is more and more sexual assaults, I think, are becoming apparent. There's also a huge increase in gang violence, and it seems like the police seem scared to counteract this. Police have been open about how they're not within their resources to respond to burglaries, for example. They've openly admitted that. However, they seemingly have huge amounts of resources to go after people who make offensive tweets.
I think it led to that is us becoming a more liberal society, us trying to disenfranchise men, us saying that masculinity is necessarily a bad thing.
I think bad influences and like people just like not caring about anything and like losing faith in the UK.
You want people to come into this country to work and to, work for the country, which is okay. You can bring people to work in the country, which is okay, but not. They have to live in the country by the rules of the country. They cannot bring their own agenda and they cannot bring their own laws and religion, their whatever the force religion or force laws upon people. This is a free country, and this country has the right where the people can speak, free of speech, and people can give their own opinions.
So you mentioned street crime getting worse. What do you think led to that?
Separation. When I say separation, I mean separation from the rich and the poor. Conservative government definitely, I think, has pushed or divided us anyways more than we were before.
And what do you think has led to those changes?
Islamisation.
And do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, they're taking over. We've got a two-tier police system that supports them more than the Christian majority. We're given second-rate housing compared with them. We're treated as second-class citizens. And what's more is the indoctrination of the young children in schools, the brainwashing of police, teachers, university dons and the rest of it. And they're afraid, they're shit scared of losing their jobs. That's why they're cowards in my book.
I think poor infrastructure with young children coming out of school at age 16 and even before then, lack of opportunities, and we kind of lost the youth's engagement, and they ended up growing up in the streets instead of at home and at school, innit?
In terms of the safety of their people, their everyday people, obviously the UK is trying, but they're not really trying their best. We've been speaking about knife crime and gun crime for years, rather than actually put in a lot more policing for specific areas so that the small amount of people that are committing crime would stop. The people around the community are going to feel like it's a threat. They're going to be like, oh, why are you policing us? Why? But there is an issue happening there where people are unaliving each other. There will be 95% of the community or 98% of the community want to live a peaceful life. Although they are working class or lower class, they want to live a peaceful life. But there is only like 2% to 5% that are perpetuating this crime rate.
Do you think maybe overpopulation could also be an issue? When you look at the UK now with like mass immigration, we've got more people than ever. Some people say that's like bound to cause hostility and friction. Do you think that could lead to maybe the increase in crime rates in the UK?
Absolutely, yes. And mass immigration is a very interesting point that you've raised, because a lot of the people who are coming in, I don't want to be too harsh on them, but they have a completely different set of values, especially when it comes to their laws, than we do in the UK. And they seem to want to impose their way of life from where they are from on us.
People are feeling more disenfranchised because they see a problem with immigration. They know that they can't trust politicians, so they go out and take it on their own hands through protests. The more protesting you do, the media frames it as a bad thing, and then they feel even more disenfranchised, and they take it to a step too far. Now, I'm not saying violent protest is a good thing, but it's a result of the media and politicians leaving those men and leaving the civilians of your country.
The illegal immigrants are coming here. Illegal immigrants. They are hiding. They are on benefits. The government is giving them council houses. Huh? The illegal people are coming into this country. You're giving council houses, big houses. You're giving them all benefits. And this country, those who are working in this country, you don't give them anything. What is this? So, my dear friends, this country is no more safe.
Cool. Immigration is a double-edged sword, yeah? But you see people that are coming to the country kind of at like different ages. It will 100% cause hostility because men are coming from many different walks of life. And the expectations here at the UK, whether that's societal or work, is a little bit different to the rest of the world, isn't it? So yeah, I think there is definitely a hostility aspect with immigration.
The idea of immigration is not necessarily a problem. I think like integration into another country has been something we've done for years, and for like kings and queens and cavemen and all of that, absolutely fine. You're absolutely fine to move to another place, from one place to another. But as you're moving to another place, you should learn to embrace the culture of the other place. Like if I step into your house, I'm not gonna say, oh, in my house we do this, so I need you to do this in your house. No, I follow your rules in your house. If I'm West African and I come to the UK, I need to learn how to embrace the UK culture because they already have a standing culture. I can have a dual culture, be Nigerian and UK. But as soon as I'm demanding that the UK citizen in his own country should denounce his own culture because I am now here, I think that's ridiculous.
I think it's the people that come and don't want to adopt British values and they don't want to integrate and they just kind of want to take the piss out of the UK, use the benefit system and that's it, and they're just chilling. I definitely think they increase the crime, and I've seen it a lot in my hometown. You go into town now and it's gotten so much rougher than it used to be 10 years ago. And that correlates with the level of immigration that's come in.
Does the police presence in the UK make you feel safe?
It seems like a bit of a joke these days, to be brutally honest.
Why'd you say that?
I used to want to say hi to police officers when I was a kid. Okay. And nowadays I look at them and I think, you failed us. They're not protecting the ordinary working people.
Mm-hmm. Yes and no.
Elaborate on that.
So it makes me feel safe that the police are doing their job, but the fact that there shows that crime is getting worse and worse and the police can't handle it.
For example, say something was going on. If I was to call the police, it might take an hour to come and the situation might be over by then. Right. So I don't trust the police.
Does the police presence in the UK make you feel safe?
I never see any where I am.
There we go then. Thank you.
If I saw one, I might feel unsafe.
Obviously, the police is super important. Like, we need the police. But like, I feel like you do get to an age where you realise that like, unless it's super serious, the police aren't really going to help you with much. And obviously, I'm sure you guys know that nowadays the police has no resources. The Crown prosecution has no resources. People are getting released early from jail. People aren't getting prosecuted in the first place. And you know, if your house gets burgled, you call, they're still in your yard. They're not coming, bro, because they can't. They haven't got enough people. So.
Do you think things are generally getting worse, or do you think the internet makes it seem worse than it is?
Social media also has a lot of impact on other people compared to like what they think. They trust it a lot more than it should be trusted.
The internet could well be over-dramatising that, but the point is, the internet is only showing what other people are seeing. So even though it might not just be happening in your world, what you see with your eyes is not just what there is to see. There's a lot more to see, and that's what the internet is bringing to light.
I've only ever seen one phone snatch in my life. But yeah, online I'm seeing 25 probably a week. So yeah, it's a given that what they portray is going back to propaganda and stuff. And scaremongering and all of that. It's a given that what they portray and what they want you to see is the worst of it, because that's what makes the news. That's what makes the stories. That's what sells in a weird way. But yeah, the truth of the matter is it's not as bad as they make it.
The news never has anything good to say anyways. Like, there was one time where the BBC had absolutely no bad news to say, so they only play like orchestra music for the day. The media is always going to perpetuate the negativity around it and fearmonger the majority for the act of the minority. But while saying that, we still can't ignore that these things happen.
Yeah, it's both. So it's getting worse, and it's making it even worse through the internet. We're seeing these things, and then people are panicking and making it even worse.
Do you personally feel safe in the UK?
I feel safe in it, but that's because I and the people around me can look after ourselves, and we're street smart, and we've grown up here, we're born here. When I'm with my missus and I'm wearing nice clothes, I definitely don't feel safe. I don't think something will necessarily happen, but I definitely feel like I have to be on guard.
Do you personally feel safe in the UK today?
I feel safe because I'm 82, and what happens to me is not going to matter. It's the young people that I'm here for and I fight for. Like my grandfather, who died in the Second World War in France, died for me.
Do you think the UK is safe today for women and children?
Certainly not.
Why not?
Because the amount of rapes, attacks, sexual attacks, mainly done by an ethnic minority of people. And I'll say this out loud, police can do what they like to me, I don't care.